All right. Hello, everybody. We should be live. We can go through the chat and say hi to everybody real quick. John Larson, Lefty 3213A, Leslie's Aquatics, Mr. Fish Service here, Griffin Fish Room. Get through here. We had a lot of good conversation going. Guppy Guru in the chat. I did see Zen Ginger here, also with the $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, Zen Ginger, with the what has become customary. I'm here. Red arrow. Thank you, Zen. Let's see, Psychedelic Hippocampus, which also had a good question. I'll get to in a minute. Maybe somebody else will know the answer to that one. Sure, I have not missed anybody. Jump down through here. All right, looks like I'm at the bottom. So we have a special guest today. We have Kerry from Sciencegal Aquatics with us. She's going to be hanging out for about an hour or so, and then we are going to end the stream promptly at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time so that we can jump on over to Rumble's Fish Room and do a congratulations over there. Hello, FNS, Larry D's Tanks and more. But Kerry, thank you for coming on. Of course, my co-host Chattanooga Ed, which hopefully everybody knows.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
We're glad to have you here. For anybody that doesn't know your channel or is new to you, which I think this group knows you, but tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel and what you've got in terms of that amazing fish room behind you.
Well, thank you. I am Kerry with Sciencegal Aquatics, and I am a guppy fanatic. I mainly keep guppies, but I am diving in to more live bears here lately, swordtails, mollies, platies. I also have a koi pond outside. I'm really into the summer tubbing. And then I have a silver arowana and a freshwater lionfish, which is brackish. It's actually a brackish fish. So I have kind of a wide spectrum of fish, but definitely guppies and live bears are my top favorites.
Very, very nice. Very cool. I want to get more info on these guppies you got, but I've got to ask real quick. The lionfish, is it a saltwater that was converted over to brackish?
No, it lives up in, I think, Maine, mainland. But it grunts like a bullfrog. I mean, I remember hearing about it a long time ago on a TV show. It was like a supernatural type of show where they kept hearing like this grunting noise and they didn't know what it was. And come to find out it was this fish that was mating, and it sounds like a bullfrog, but it's so loud. I haven't heard it yet, but it's a brackish fish, but I guess it can live in full salt water sometimes, but it's mainly brackish.
Well, that is very, very cool.
I believe it's Maine. I could be wrong. That's what the fish store owner told me, but I had never heard of it. I had always heard of the full saltwater ones, and I've read their cousins, but again, I'm not sure. It's a learning it's a learning curve.
Well, that sounds super cool. I'm gonna have to check those guys out.
Yeah, I know it's also known as like a toadfish.
Okay.
Oh, and okay. It looks just like a frog. When you look at it, you get the frog vibe, but nice. it doesn't move a lot. It might be like your dragon puffer. Like it's very, where it stays, it moves and pokes its head out a little bit. For minnows, I haven't got it on anything else but minnows at the moment. But it's fun.
It sounds like it. Fish. What type of coloration does it have? I'm curious.
It's mainly like a brownish camouflage.
Okay.
It's got like a little spikes on its face that if you touch it, it doesn't feel good. I don't think it's necessarily like poisonous or venomous, but it's not going to feel good. It's going to feel like a bee sting if you touch it.
Gotcha. Well, we will try to keep from petting those.
Yeah, I don't want to pet it. It took me a while to get brave enough to put my hand in the tank, but for cleaning purposes. But with it being brackish, I don't have the cleaning of the glass as much. So, and it's in a lower light setting, so that helps too. So
very nice. So you've got an extremely professional looking fish room behind you. I wanted to ask you, and I know this is one of those people have to think a lot, and when you have a lot of tanks, people are like, oh, don't ask me that, but about how many tanks do you have set up?
You have like 20 or 22 maybe.
Very nice.
22, 25.
Right. That's mine's always like it's 40 something ish. It's always
always growing and changing and evolving.
Well, that's phenomenal. And you said guppies are kind of your thing. Do you have some specific strains going, or tell us a little bit about your guppies, if you would?
This one behind me is up right here. You can is a purple mosaic guppy. This one's red tiger endlers. This one's a green tiger endler tank. This is over here, over there. That's a freshwater butterfly fish. It's not a live bear, but it's still super cool. It's like a baby arowana. And then this is sword tails over here. And then I have another rack over here that's like a lyre tail and then double lyre tail guppy, some like pinkish tuxedo looking guppies, and then a newly named wild. It's not the wing guy. It's like obscura. It's a newly named guppy in this 5-gallon. And then it's not an in-class, but it's a wild type of some sort. That's actually kind of one of my favorites. It's small, but it's really colorful. And then I have some, I believe they're green endlers of some sort that I picked up from Jeffro a while ago.
Awesome.
So I have some swordtails and mollies over there. Just some little bit of everything. Back here in this 55-gallon, every so many generations of every fry, I just throw in that 55-gallon.
Oh, nice.
So I don't have anything too crowded, because it seems like when it's too crowded, they crash.
Right.
So I kind of, every so many generations, I throw them in that 55-gallon just to see what I get. And some of them are really pretty.
That's cool.
Real quick, I want to say thank you to Lefty3213A with the $2 super chat. It says, Woot, 22 is my lucky number, smiley face. Lefty, thank you very much for that. Also, one of my lucky numbers. I like 2 and I like 22.
I'm an even, anything even numbered, I'm good with.
Awesome. So we talked a little bit beforehand, and you mentioned you keep your guppies kind of differently, I guess is how you phrased it. So how do you set up your guppy tanks?
It just depends on the day. Sometimes I use sand. Sometimes I use fluval stratum. Sometimes I just go to the backyard and pick up some whatever I find in the yard. I've been kind of playing around with the dirted tanks. I have some Kerry tetras back here. It's not, the plants love it. I don't like maintaining it.
Right.
I definitely prefer the sand. But I have extremely hard water here. It's like liquid rock.
Yeah.
So I have been trying to dabble with Corridoras for the first time, and I know some of the ones I like softer water. So I've been trying to gather up some botanicals for those tanks, but really trying to play around with the plants.
Yeah.
Adding a lot of plants. They like it. The guppies really like it. I have definitely can tell a difference with adding live plants with the fry that I get. 100%. And then I've been playing around, honestly, with the temperatures. I've always been set up a guppy tank, add a heater, substrate. That's what I do. I use my whisper filters, and that's what I've always done. But I've been kind of playing around with taking some of the heaters out and seeing, if I get more of a male or more of a female ratio instead of just kind of whatever I get. And being in the basement, it's hotter down here just naturally. So,
right, absolutely.
I used to when I was a kid. I've had guppies since I was like little bitty. I remember my parents like, "You really another fish tank in your room, Kerry? Really?" And I always had it. I don't know, like honestly, what the salt content was. I would dump aquarium salt in my hand and throw it in the tank. So this is really the first time I've ever had, and they did well with salt back then too. They always reproduced, but now I've been kind of doing things more of, I don't know, textbook wise, like no salt plants, paying more attention to the temperature type of thing, more steady water changes.
I've always found it's amazing. Oh, it sounds like I'm getting an echo on me still from somewhere. Okay, there we go. It's gone. I've always found it's amazing how they can live in such varied environments versus, like you mentioned, the textbook expectation of how we. Real quick, I want to say thank you, Lake Hamilton Guppies, with the $5 super chat. It says hashtag Project Poecilia. That's definitely something that we want to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I want to be involved.
I'm glad to hear that. We've got some contests to figure out that Ed had the idea for. Lake Hamilton, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, buddy. Go check him out on Instagram. And he's also got a freshly started YouTube channel. I've got some guppies in my videos from him, and they are absolutely stunning. So check out his guppies, you all. Ed and I haven't really discussed the details on what has turned into a contest, but we are kicking off. The month of May is going to be a Project Poecilia month. And basically, that's just for anybody that hasn't heard us talk about it. It's just strengthening and growing our community through a love of live bearers. So I think we're going to end up with I'll go on the Fish Room Fever Facebook page and make a post where people can submit entries there. It's probably going to be the easiest way for the contest part of it. But basically, we're just encouraging anybody that is posting, live bears, guppies, anything that falls under the Poecilia. Just tag it hashtag Project Poecilia. Let's see how far we can make this thing stretch out. And then we've got some ideas for some prizes, and DPK Aquariums made up some really awesome certificates that I'm going to have to go get printed out.
Well, if you need anything from me, I'll pitch in. I'm more than happy to pitch in.
Well, I appreciate that.
We've got this merch, and I don't know what to do with it.
Guppy Guru in the chat also mentioned last live stream that he would be happy to do sponsor it, if you will. So that's somebody else that we're also I'm working on getting on a live stream. He's got some amazing stuff going on his channel too. But
there's so many amazing people on FishTube, YouTube.
Yeah.
We really lucked out with this. I would not be a YouTuber if it wasn't for the FishTube community.
Yep.
This group specifically is why I do this.
Oh yeah, and I love it. We had Lefty in the chat, for example, posted his first video today, and it was kind of like his journey back into fish keeping. And so he was talking about. I won't give the whole thing away. Y'all go watch that after this is over. But talking about how he'd been in the hobby, came back to the hobby, and kind of fell into the community. It was just warmly welcomed, and that's really what it's all about. And I love the fact that we have this amazing community here.
Yeah, I kind of fell into it. I was doing a research for my undergrad, and no one could help me. My teacher couldn't help me. My friends couldn't help me. I was going to rock stores. I was going to calling conservate. I was calling in, like, finding this niche was like, one, there's people out there like me that are fish nerds. Like, how cool is that? And two, they know things that no one around here can help me with.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure.
was putting videos out. I wasn't super serious about it then, but it kind of evolved. And the more I got to know what you guys and this community, the more I was like, well, I want to make videos too. So it wasn't more like point, shoot, help me solve a problem.
Yeah, and it's great for that. And it also goes back to, all the different perspectives on things, getting away from that status quo, if you will, of, hey, this is how the book says you have to do it. You can actually see video of, well, I'm doing it this way, I'm doing it that way. There's not necessarily one specific right way that we need to keep this particular thing.
Well, the best part about knowing the rules is breaking the rules.
Right, absolutely.
Yep.
That's the best part about knowing the rules is what rules you can break.
For sure. And then you get to rub it in everybody's face.
Yeah, I mean, I've prime example, angelfish and biters. I'm pretty sure that's a textbook no, but it works in this particular instance.
Yeah, I set up an angelfish tank for my dad at his house, I don't know, a handful of months ago, and it had like 6 silver dollar sized angelfish and then I think like 15 neon tetra, and I'm really anxious to see what that tank looks like after I can go back over there. Because he said one of the pairs were being a little bit aggressive. Everything was still good, but there was a pair that was a little bit more picking on things, but I haven't been over there to see it. I haven't done he can't water change. My mom won't water change, so we'll see.
I've got to jump on some water changes after this. How do you have yours set up? Do you individually do water changes on your tanks?
Well, I'm glad you have some time tonight. Let me tell you about the evolution of my water change system. So,
Fantastic.
I'm going to scoot this over and see if you can see this. I have that trash can right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a washer and dryer hookup right there. And I had just like a gallon water bottle that I had in there. And I would siphon it out and I would gallon by gallon and water change. And I would try to do a couple a day. It merged in just trying to do everything on Sundays while everybody was live streaming. Right. And then that turned, and I would just carry the buckets upside and up the stairs and dump it. And then I invested in a pump out. That was my first. So I had a pump and a water hose, I pump it out. And then month or so ago, because Haley from Oddball Aquatics kept giving me so much grief. She's like, you really need to do something about your water changes. I got another pump and a water hose that I just used for going into the tank. And at the end of it, I have, I don't know what it's called, something that I can speed it up or slow it down.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier now. Especially on that arowana tank, let me tell you, when you do like a 25% water change on like a 6-foot tank, that's a lot to gallon by gallon to refill.
Oh,
that would
yeah.
be rough.
So I would get my live streams in order, and I was like, okay, guys, we're just going to chat and water change. But it's funny on his, he likes to attack the end of the water hose when I do water change his tank and refill it. So he'll try to attack the spigot. But yeah, that's how I do water changes. I do add Prime and Aquarium Co-ops. I recently got their whole line of Easy Range, I think is what it's called. Okay. And so I'll do the pumps for a 50-gallon worth of water and let that set overnight, and then I fill up the tanks the next day.
Okay.
So
you don't pour it directly into the tanks?
I do, like, if they feel like I need a little extra through the week and I'm not ready, because I was doing water changes every Sunday, and I felt like my plants were kind of wilting a little bit. So now I'm doing every other week on the water changes, and the plants are doing a lot better. But I'll drain a little bit of the water, and then I'll let that set, and then I won't refill them until the next day. And everything's fine. Everybody does good. But it seems like I'll drain a little bit out. Kerry Tetra tank, I'll wait to drain that until my water sets overnight. That one I won't set overnight. But my guppies, they like it. They don't seem to mind it. So I'll drain a little bit, get all the tanks, the glass scraped off, get my water ready, let that set overnight, and then I'll refill it the next day.
So you are fancy. You scrape your glass when you do your water changes.
Not all the time. And now I kind of honestly, especially this 20 long right here, I like, you can see the line where it grew. I painted and then that's algae. I don't mind it kind of gathering up on the glass a little bit, especially because that one's got shrimp in it. And the shrimp like it. But just the front. Just the front, because it never fails. Like, I'll film with my phone and I'll think that it's all clean. I'll hit that one algae spot and you're like, oh, it's blurry because of the algae.
And that is a very good point. A lot of people don't talk about is I think for those of us that are algae fans, we keep our tanks, I don't want to say cleaner because algae, that's implying that algae's dirty and it's not. But we keep our glass a little bit more clear than maybe we normally would just because of filming and photos and things of that nature.
Yeah. And you know, the two tanks I have the least amount of problems with are my no filter tank, my little 5-gallon. Yeah, little 5-gallon no filter tanks. They've been running for years, and I just gave up because the filters kept breaking. And that water is always so clear. I was like, man, Lincoln's got something. Maybe he's got something to this.
you said they used whisper hang on the backs.
Yeah. I am. Go
Do
ahead.
you use filters? Or not filters, but sponges?
I am getting into the sponge filters. Is that what you said? Sponge filters?
Yeah.
I just got my first couple. I put my first one in that 20 long because that's the one that has the most shrimp in it. But in the unboxing, I got 2 of Aquarium Co-op, so I'm excited to get those hooked up. But I've never used the sponge filters. I've always used the Tetra filters, and I did the little inserts because I didn't know better. And then when I went to ecology class and realized what activated carbon was, I'm like, oh, helps if you actually learn what you use. Now I use the whisper filter, and then I'll get like an aquarium little baggie and put media in it. Some kind of, I don't know, it's an off brand of the Fluval little white media ones.
Like
and then
ceramic rings.
Yeah. And then I'll put some Fluval sponge down in there, like a little couple pieces of that. So they're whisper filters. They're not the plastic ones. I forget what they're called, but they're the
ceramic would be.
Yeah, I don't. But they're just media, extra media.
I don't have any with me right now because
I'll grab one right here. Hang on.
I'm curious what I'm supposed to be addressing. I see the chat asking it. Oh yeah,
Yep.
the ceramic.
That's what I put in my hang in the backs.
Love that
I'll
stuff.
put that on top, and then I'll put some just of that long sponge, and I'll cut it in pieces.
Yep.
And I'll stick that underneath those little bags. But I find it more cost effective to get like a jar of them and just get those little aquarium bags and fill them.
For sure.
Absolutely.
But I'll rinse those out. Like I'll drain the tank and I'll rinse those out every month or so, month and a half or so. I'll kind of rinse them out a little bit, but I don't clean them like I used to. I was like, oh, not supposed to take them to the sink with Dawn. I have my aquarium keeping before biology degree and then my aquarium keeping skills after biology. I was sitting there, no joke, in that ecology class, write notes over the we were going over like the nitrogen cycle and the water cycle and all the cycles there are, and I was like, no way. I was like, way too old. I should have known that.
I made the mistake myself years ago of not using like detergents or anything, but washing everything with strictly tap water. Every time I'd clean it, I would clean with chlorinated tap water. Yeah, it's got to get clean. And I think that's just kind of the evolution of a fish keeper for a lot of us.
And then I wonder why there's like, why is my aquarium so cloudy for like a week? And it's like my fish are dying all of a sudden, but yet I hadn't cleaned it for like 6 months prior.
Yeah.
So
and I had like every fish in there known to man before I knew it. Because I always kept fish like my dad. We had a big aquarium. Anything we thought was cool, we would stuff it in there. So we had gouramis and goldfish and like sharks and no rhyme or reason. It always seemed to work out. Like nothing really was all that horrible with it. But once I went back to school, it was just like epiphany after epiphany, and then doing all that undergrad research and really diving into the guppies to a way that I've never studied an animal before. It was just like, I'm so thankful that I improved my fish keeping skills.
Absolutely. Real quick, Priscilla tried to send a super chat and said it didn't go through. Thank you for the attempt, Priscilla. I don't see it on the back end either in the studio. So if you have an issue with that and it does fully charge you, I will gladly confirm with YouTube as they can confirm themselves that didn't go through. But thank you for the attempt. And then Jesse HC Aqua with the $2 super chat says testing. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that very, very much. Looks like we're in good shape. We got Brandon, Mr. B says it's not working, HC Aqua.
Priscilla, if you want to just keep trying, and we'll just keep having Jesse keep trying after you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Mr. B said, Jesse, that didn't work. Lefty's got a comment in here I wanted to read real quick. Lefty3213A says, "Oh gods, my mother used to drain the tank weekly, clean the gravel with soap, then Windex the glass, put it all back, and re-add the fish. I don't know how we didn't lose any fish from fever." Yeah, that's
Oh, some of the stuff I'm like ashamed to even say out loud.
yeah.
But you know what? It's a good story now, I guess. The fish they did fine, but I'm glad I know more now.
Yeah, it makes me wonder a lot of times if I had known some of these things, how much more would the fish have thrived? Because, like you said, the fish, I didn't have issues with die off or the fish being sick or anything like that. But how much better would they have done it had I known that I was just destroying the nitrogen cycle every time I did that?
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's just that, you live and learn. And again, that's another great part of, having this community. It's a lot easier to get information, than it was.
I'm so thankful. Like when people leave me comments like try this or like especially articles. I like reading articles and stuff like that and like little links like that. Super helpful.
Absolutely. I don't read enough articles, but I'll generally check I'll like, okay, if this is a theory and I don't know if it's true or not, let me find a lot of things supporting it, see if there is anything against it and find out why they're against it. But articles are definitely awesome. I just don't ever find myself reading enough of them, sadly.
Yeah, there's always more time. I have a tendency to get like halfway through it and then fall asleep, and it takes me, I'm like, that should only took me like 2 hours to read, and it's taken me a week.
Right. So I do want to say, if anybody's got questions for us or for Kerry, feel free to throw them in the chat. You can put @FishroomFever in front of them so they'll highlight for me and I can make sure I don't miss them. That way we're not putting our guests to work trying to keep an eye on questions for her. But are you planning on going to any of the events this year, assuming that, everything gets back to normal and they carry on with those?
I definitely make it a goal to go to Chicago and Dallas Aquatics. I try to go to both of them. I really like to help with the YouTube booth and kind of pay my dues and give back. That's like a highlight of my year. But some of the other ones, I want to branch out and go to a few other ones. I know there's a livebearer association. Is it in Florida? That there's a show that I would like to go to. I would like to kind of go to a few more, especially like I'm always going to go to Aquatics, but I want to go to a few more for sure, kind of branch out, especially when I can travel again. I want to go to everything.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a good livebearer, or maybe it's a Killie show in St. Louis. That'd be really easy for you. The one in Florida, I think, has already been canceled.
Yeah. I figured probably this year's going to be a little rough on the conventions, but maybe next year. Definitely make it a plan. I want to go to everything.
Definitely. It's
the Killie show's in June, and I haven't seen that they've canceled it yet, so they still might have it.
Cool. I love those things. They're so fun.
Oh yeah, and it's awesome. The even though it's just for a couple days, usually the relationships you get to build with the other fish tubers, meeting them in person and hanging out at the hotel and whatnot.
They're not just friends in my head anymore.
Yeah.
That's exactly
They're friends in real life.
Uh-huh.
There are so many people.
The first YouTuber I ever met was Lucas he came to one of the auctions in St. Louis. And it was like really new into me doing YouTube. I don't even think I had the Aquatics on my name yet. I think it was just Sciencegal. I'm not sure. And I went up to him. I was like, I just want to say hi. And I'm in a couple of your chats. And I'm like, I'm so glad to meet you. It's like, oh. But I was just like, I can't believe it. It's Lucas. He's here. He's like a movie star. Because I don't watch TV. So I was like, fish breeders are rock stars to me.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny how we have people with the celebrity status, if you will, like you said, the rock stars in the fish fam or the fish tubers. It's like, oh my God, you're so and so, and they're like,
yeah. The first aqua show I went to, it was a blur. I was in shock. Like I couldn't talk. I was like, hi. And like I'm still getting used to saying Sciencegal, like not used to saying introducing yourself as a handle name, So
Right.
I'm like, hi. But I think it took me to the second one of like actually being able to speak. Because it just went by. It was such a blur and it was so much fun. But I watch you guys. I watch FishTube.
It's
fun.
yeah.
James, why didn't you tell us about your first two fish tube celebrities you met?
Well, my first two fish tube celebrities I met would be Bob at Kaler's Aquatics and Chattanooga Ed.
Woohoo! I had to set him up.
Well, when I first got into it, I knew there were some people near me. I'm like, there has to be. And so I started looking around. Michael's Fish Room had done a tour here in town at one of the fish stores. And he said he had been invited by a local fish tuber. I'm like, okay, that means there's somebody near Knoxville that's doing it because Michael invited him. So I started looking around and found Bob Kaler. And then talking to Bob Kaler, he's like, well, I'm going to meet up with my buddy Chattanooga Ed at the fish store if you want to come along. I was like, oh my God, that'd be amazing. So yeah, my introduction to the fish tube and fish fam was I was blessed to meet this guy, and Bob Kaler is my first.
Because do you
That was
guys
fun.
both live in Tennessee-ish area?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm Chattanooga. He's Knoxville, so he's about an hour and a half down the road.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I think Fishy Biz is
He's
one
St.
of
Louis.
my closest neighbors. I always look for him when I go to St. Louis.
You know what? Mob Guppy, or he's in not Rolla, in Joplin.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. How to? That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm always in Springfield.
St. Louis or Missouri's been like my home for 40 years, so
Mhm.
I always try to pay attention to the Missouri people.
It's been mine for like 35.
Wow, that's awesome.
I was
Super
born in Oregon, so I lived in Oregon for like a little while. My dad worked for the USGS, so we traveled around. He made maps, so he surveyed a lot. And
We'll talk about it later, but so did my dad.
really,
Yeah,
that's cool.
or DMAC.
We traveled around a lot, and then they made us move from Oregon to Missouri, and I've been here ever since. But that's cool.
Yeah, well, my dad was in St. Louis. That's where I was born. Then we moved to Kansas City, and then when the Cold War ended, we moved back to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bizarre. Well,
Yeah.
our folks might know each other. That'd be really weird.
Yeah, because he worked there for a while until he got sick. So, but he used to tell me all kinds of crazy stories. He was surveying some plot of land somewhere, and I guess it was in a cow field, and the cows came up and ate all of his surveying cords.
Oh, wow.
So everybody made fun of him. I'm like, now don't let the cows eat your equipment.
That is crazy. My dad was the cartographer that drew it all out.
Gotcha.
And then my mom worked there too. She worked for the different generals as a secretary.
Oh, really? Yeah, my mom didn't work there. My mom, she was braver. She did daycare.
So we've got a big old super chat in the chat, but I don't want to bypass this question and jump straight to it. But Mickey M asked a question to all of you. What's your favorite guppy / live bearer? If either one of you all would like to go first, you're welcome to. Or if you want time to think, I can pick something.
I like the endlers right now. I'm really liking this wild type. I think the babies are cute because they're so tiny. But the fancy guppies, the purple ones they're pretty fun to watch swim around. I mean, it's really hard to choose, but right now I seem to be always gravitating towards more of the wild type.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't really have any wild types, but I'm talking to a couple people. I'd like to get some wild type stuff going.
Yeah, I'm not sure what line they are. I picked them up in St. Louis at a fish store, and it just said wild guppy, and so I don't know. I mean, it's it's an Endler, I guess, instead of a Guppy, but I really like it.
Very cool.
Watch. I've had some problems with it. It's in a 10-gallon, and I've had them for a while, so they kind of crashed. But now they're slowly building back up again, and I cannot remember for the life of me what fish store it was to go back to even check if they have anything else. But it's been a slow process with them back and forth.
Well, that's a bummer. My brother still lives in St. Louis, so with the gas so low right now, I filled up for $1.29 yesterday. I wish I could drive to St. Louis right now and just visit him.
I drive a Mustang, so if I go anywhere, it's like $50. I filled up my tank for I think it was like $19.
Awesome.
I was like, no way.
That's how it was with my truck. I was very happy. But boy, I don't know if I have a favorite Endler. I love, or not Endler, live bear. I love all my guys.
It's really whatever tank I'm looking at the moment.
Exactly.
Ask me tomorrow. My answer will change.
I like my mollies because they are such pigs. They eat out of my hand. I mean, I can literally just pick them up. They're so stupid. My platies are like raptors. I always thought platies were like cute little guys, but they're like raptors, how they chase their fry around. And it's kind of fun to watch, but it's terrible.
They're one of the few that will make it with my goldfish.
Yeah.
They hold their own.
I just was always shocked that I don't know, I just never was a big platy guy my whole life, and now that I've got some, I really like them. And they're super blue. I got those in Nashville. Let's see. Man, I don't know. I like them all. I can't pick them.
It's really what I'm looking at, what fish store I'm in at the moment.
So,
well, now you're going to start tubbing, or have you started tubbing already?
I have everything set up. I don't have any fish in them yet, but this is my second year, I think, doing it. Yeah, I had guppies and mollies. I had black mollies in there last year, and then just a bunch of random guppies in 2 different tubs. I had got 1 molly fry, so I felt pretty accomplished with my 1 molly fry. But the guppies did really well. But this year I have the same 2 smaller. I think they're maybe 20-gallon tubs, and then I got a 300-gallon tub for my largemouth bass. But since it jumped out, it didn't end well. Now I have a 300-gallon tub.
Guppy tub.
Yeah.
So I want to give an answer real quick for Mickey M. I'm going to throw a wild card out there and say my favorite in terms of my guppies and live bearers is going to be my mutt guppy tank. Mm-hmm. Just because there's nothing, it doesn't have to be specific, and there are so many different patterns and colors to it, and I don't have to go, oh, well, that would be a pretty, except it's got this coloration, or it would be pretty if it didn't have this.
Yeah.
So because it's not limited, I love it.
Yeah, that's a good pick, because every time you look in it, you have a new fry.
Yeah.
Every time you look in there, you're like, where'd that come in?
I want to say a couple thank yous real quick because we've got some people in the chat that are just blowing me away. Mr. Zen with the $20 super chat says, super chat working fine, ? Hi, James and Ed. Mr. Zen, thank you. Hugs and kisses to you, buddy. I appreciate that. We've got the big old smoochie on there. And then we've got Priscilla MK Art with the $2 super chat. It says, Sciencegal, woohoo! Thank you, Priscilla, for that. Very much.
You guys are the only ones that think I'm cool.
No, the fish community loves you, and we love you. We're glad you're on here. Moonstone is here. Kim, thank you for the $10 super chat. It says, fun stream. Thanks all. Thank you for being here, and thank you very much for the super chat. Very, very much appreciate you all. All that goes right back into the channel and being able to bring you all additional content and things. So very much appreciated. Makes it a little bit easier to get things past Miss Fever and go, well, hey, this is coming out of the super chat money. And we've got Mr. Zen again with the $20 super chat. He's going to make me blush tonight. Says, I'm sure that was supposed to be gal and it auto-corrected. Hello, Sciencegal. Hello. With the $20 super chat. And then I saw another one pop up. try and keep my face from getting as red as Ed's here. I think it's after a bit. Mr. Zen with a third $20 super chat. I can't wait to meet these guys and buy them dinner. Mr. Zen and the Zen Ginger. Says
we're going to have to buy them a really big steak each.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get into drinks, after that. Mr. Zen, Kim, thank you all very, very, very much. From the bottom of my heart, not required, but always greatly appreciated. So thank you all for that. Make sure you didn't miss
all the people that were saying that I was super red, as the sun goes down, I'm slowly getting my color back. it goes right in these trees, and I'm in a sunroom. I mean,
well, I'm the color of your walls. If I see up there, I'd blend into your windows.
It's not highlighted, but I wanted to bring this comment up. Mickey M says, my childhood friend kept a mix of guppies in a tank placed in a window. All were awesome in that sun/daylight. Yes, I've taken some guppies outside before for some photos and filming, and it's amazing how the colors pop when the sunlight hits them. It's that, and also getting that top view that you don't always get in the aquariums is gorgeous, gorgeous fish. So I'm hoping to do some tubbing this year. I was sitting out on the porch looking at what I could potentially do and how I could safeguard some fish from wildlife, specifically cats. So I'm hoping I can get that figured out. But sorry, I kind of derailed it. But thank you all again for the super chats. And if you have any questions for Kerry, myself, or Ed, feel free to throw those in there. If you put @FishRoomFever, it'll highlight it for me so that I don't miss it. If I have missed anything, feel free to ask again. We are at the bottom of the chat now.
Kerry, do you put any air in your tanks? Like, do you have air stones or anything, or
just
or not your tanks? I meant your tubs.
Oh, the tubs. I have something I kind of just made work. I had an old filter that was like the double. It had the 2 little waterfalls on it, and I just screwed it into the plastic tub.
Okay.
And then I put the same media in that, but I have an air stone. I guess I added an air stone to the 300-gallon tub, but that's the other ones. I don't have an air stone. I just have that filter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm debating if I do set up tubs, how I want to do it. I mean, I've got sponge filters I could throw in there, but I was almost thinking of plumbing something, because I'm looking at having them elevated and then kind of plumbing down to a sump system almost, if you will, and pumping it back up. But I'm really curious how everybody's setting up their tubs, since I haven't really done a lot of outdoor tubbing. I got plenty of tubs indoors with sponge filters, but it's a little different.
Yeah, I had those filters left over, and I was like, they didn't bend too well, so we just kind of had to force it in, screw it to the plastic, and so it works. But it's aggressive for like the water current. It makes a pretty strong current. So the guppies like it, the mollies liked it, but I ordered some new stuff that I won't give away yet that won't like it.
That's cool.
So I want to ask you about your live streams, because I know you've been live streaming some lately. But real quick, I would be remiss if I didn't go back to the chat and say, Mr. Zen, yeah, there's the blushing. Thank you again for another $20 super chat. Says, at the Zen Ginger says, one to grow on, with the winky smiley faces. I love y'all. I've got a package going out to you all next week. I've got to get with Zen on exactly what I'm sending, but I do have a care package I want to send out to you all for all your support and just being awesome people in general. So thank you very much for that. Wow. Got me all thrown off. I appreciate that. I know they love to watch me squirm on camera. Do you have, so I know you've been doing some live streams lately. I'm kind of
trying to break out of my shell.
Have you gotten on a set schedule for anybody that's watching? Okay.
Not yet. I'm still trying to figure out what works for me and what works for everybody else, and time slots that's open, and some people that I want to kind of have on eventually might not, that day might work, so it might be a little sporadic here for a little while to things settle in, but I'm just glad that if I said it, I'm more apt to do it. It's like exercising. If you take a week off, you're done. And as long as you guys don't get sick of me.
Well, we'll see. All that means is that everybody needs to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way they know when you're going live.
Yeah.
So it's not, they don't miss that.
I'm definitely want to. I feel like it really brings you closer to the community, live streaming.
Absolutely.
And since everybody's friends in my head and we're all best friends.
It's more of a club when everybody's here together.
Yeah, I was never in the cool club, so now that I'm in the cool fish club, I feel special.
Yep.
Same
here. What's your favorite plant for your fry? Or do you just use all sorts of plants?
Yeah, I'm just one of those that's like, I'm going to do live plants, so I'm going to buy them all and see what works. I know, like the guppy grass is a go-to. Some of the floating plants are a go-to. The guppies like it. I think they like it more than I like it. Like the hornwort, I did not personally like at all, but the guppies liked it because it shitted everywhere. Like the Anubis does really well. Just anything I can get my hands on, and I'm still learning the names of it, so I'm like, that one.
Yeah, that's me too.
Let's see.
So,
Yeah, just a little bit of everything. Vallisneria is a new one that seems like some tanks it takes off really well, and then other tanks not so much. Yeah, just kind of whatever I can get my hands on, and I'll try to make it work. I'll buy like a $3 plant, be like, oh, this is a beautiful plant. And I'll take it home and be like, now you must have $100 light.
Yeah.
Now you must have really expensive substrate for my beautiful $3 plant. And then the other ones, I mean, some of them are more expensive, but we'll just kind of whatever I get, and we'll see how it goes. But I know some of them, the tank they just naturally do better than others. I can have the same tank, 2 sizes, same substrate, same kind of light schedule, and one will still do better than the other one.
So
Yeah.
if I could talk, this is not you two saying if I could talk, this is me trying to get words out of my mouth. Mr. Zen with another $20 super chat saying, I want to see you really blush. And telling me to get my hand off of my face so that I could stop hiding the blushing. Buddy, thank you. I appreciate you more than you know. I don't even have words at this point for it.
You can feel it rising from your toes and then the sweat.
With all that love, maybe James will buy me a steak also.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's what Ro asked what I was giggling at. That's what I was giggling at. I was trying to hold in my little blushy giggle thing that I'm just speechless at this point. So thank you, Mr. Zen. Aquariums maintained by Andy coming in behind that with the $2 super chat with the workout pairs saying cool. Andy, thank you very, very much, buddy. I really appreciate you. You all are phenomenal. I think you all know I love this community. And it just, the love is overwhelming sometimes. Thank you all very much. Where was I going with that? Because I know we've only got you for a little bit longer. The plants. I was going to say that I've only been to the Big Fish deal, but I found that was an amazing, like that club event was an amazing place to get plants at a fairly good price.
Yeah.
Things that I wouldn't normally have paid retail dollar for, but was able to bring home. Because I don't.
Clubs are, and you have to stay to the end. You can't if you go, there's always like 100 or so people at the very beginning, and the plants are a little bit more expensive at the beginning, but the last 5 minutes, the last 10 bags, and there's only 5 of us left, that's where you get the good deals. You have to stay to the end.
Yeah.
And there's $1, $2, where the same plant 3 hours earlier was $15. So
yeah, I went through at the very end, and oh my god. Ed, do you want to read that one? Do you want to read that one?
Yes. Mr. Zen, you are too nice. He wants you, James, to buy me a steak.
That will definitely happen.
I didn't mean to say that. I mean, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And James is very appreciative of it.
Absolutely. I love my buddy Ed.
I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to.
But what I think he likes to see me flustered and blushing. Thank you, Mr. Zen. What you're talking about was staying till the end. I went through at the end of the big fish deal and bought out a couple of people. They're starting to pack up. I'm like, well, what do you just want for all of it? Give me a really good deal so you don't have to take it home. Or how much for everything in this tank?
Yeah.
You're exactly right. It's definitely the way to do it.
At the big fish deal, I really messed up because I was like in YouTuber mode the whole time, and I never looked at anybody's tables that they were selling stuff. And everybody kept bringing back this great looking stuff. And I was like, oh man, where'd you get that? And they were like, this is the last one. Oh, and then I'd be like, ooh, those are some cool shrimp and last one. And it was like, oh,
yeah, if I see something, because some of them I go to, they have like where you can buy stuff the first day and then the second day is the auction. So if you see it, get it because it won't be there very long.
Yeah.
I've lost out on so many things being like, well, I'll think about it because I want to see what else is here because there's so many cool things. And then you're like, well, really, the first thing I saw was what I wanted and now it's gone.
Yep. Well, I had to escape Rachel O'Leary. Did I say her last name right? O'Leary?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to escape her tank for her because she didn't go. And I'm like, I'm not the guy to be doing that. But process of elimination, there wasn't enough people. So I was running around buying stuff for the tank. And that was the stuff. And I ended up buying my own tank because of the stuff that
I wanted to go to that so bad, but I had to do my taxes. Yeah, of all the days, the only appointment to get the taxes done was the big fish deal. Really?
Oh man,
that stinks. Well, hopefully we'll get to see it some upcoming events this year.
For sure.
It doesn't look like
I never know exactly how things are going to go down, but I want to be there.
Yeah, I don't think I've got much choice in the matter at this point. I'm going to have to go to Dallas, just if nothing else, to say hi to the Zens.
And we already have our tickets.
Yeah, I bought my ticket for when it was scheduled before they rescheduled it, and I've got some things being worked out. Because I know I'd mentioned, just real quick for anybody that the regulars, I'd mentioned not being able to go. I've worked some things out at work. We'll put it that way, so that I'll be schedule-wise available to go to those. Priscilla with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Priscilla MKR. It says half a slice of cake for Ed.
I'll take it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My color is getting better now that the sun's going down.
It is. We give each other a hard time over those super chats. Like if they're for something like that, Ed was picking on Bob when we did our fish tuber thing because Bob didn't get his piece of pie after we left the eating. Ed was like, Bob, you didn't get your piece of pie from that super chat yesterday that somebody mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
we love to give each other a hard time over that stuff. Thank you very much.
Well, that was the super chat I left him.
That's right. Yeah. But you guys are awesome, and I very much appreciate it. Ed, if you'll take over for a second, I'm kind of speechless at the moment.
Well, so did you have any problems? I'm going back to tubbing because I'm like about to do it for the first time in my life.
Oh, do it. You got to.
Did you have, oh, man. Well, did you have any problems with dragonflies?
The only problem I had with dragonflies is when I went to the creek and didn't know what dragonfly larva was. And I was like, oh, how cool. Scoop this up. And I dump them into the pond.
Oh, no.
But they were all, nothing happened. I have a lot of dragonflies actually just naturally in the backyard. And I see them swooping down, but I really don't. I don't. My biggest problem is just, I have a tree right above the pond and I don't clean out all the leaves. Like I let a lot of it settle down. I still try to clean it a little bit, but the rosy red minnows have bred more, keeping more crud at the bottom of the pond. So I still get some of them out, but I think it's a pin oak right above it. But I have a lot of evaporation problem. Like you're constantly having to kind of top it off or water change it because it gets murky. And then like the pond, I like green water in the pond, but the tubs, it's like not quite mature green water. It's just like pollen water. But I do, since I have that filter on there and it does have a little, like quite a bit of flow to it, the mosquitoes don't get in it.
Okay.
But the guppies and stuff would like the mosquitoes, but when you go out on the porch and you're swarmed, they don't. But I don't really have too many problems. I could probably honestly move fish out there right now if I wanted to, but I was waiting till next week just to be safe. But honestly, the pollen and the evaporation is a lot. Like you have to go out there a lot and fill it.
Yeah, are you doing full sunlight, or what kind of sunlight are they getting?
I have it kind of tucked up against the house, so it's half and half. When it's full sun, it's full sun, and when it's the sun goes down or early morning, it's kind of shaded by the house. But when it's full sun, it's full sun. But right now, it's a lot of pollen. Everything's green here right now. It's like my eyes are itching. It's all I can do is like everything's itching. Everything's blooming in green. So once that kind of dies down, I don't even have as much problem with that.
Sorry.
What do you do? Do you use hyacinth, or what type of plants do you put in there?
Nothing right now. I try, but apparently I get the tops of it wet, so I've never been able to keep like the water lettuce type stuff. I don't know if the fish store owner said it was because I got the tops of the leaves wet. I guess but I've tried. I have a water lily in the pond that's starting to sprout again, and I thought I killed it because I had accidentally uprooted it. But yeah, it's coming back. But the little breeding ponds, I don't usually put anything in there. It's usually got quite a bit of algae in there, and that one I don't take out because the algae, it seems to really help kind of suck up some of because when it's sun, it's sunny. So having just some crud algae in there is actually kind of good for it. It doesn't look good, but the fish like it.
Yeah, I ended up like late in the season last year. I fooled around with the tub just for giggles and grins, and ended up with a bunch of hair algae in it, which I enjoy. And I actually brought it in. I've got a 10-gallon. It's almost full of it now because the shrimp love it. It's a really cool wavy pattern the way that the water flow is in that tank. But it's one of those things that people are like, "Oh God, no hair algae," and I'm like, well, everything has its own uses. I like duckweed in certain tanks, but not in other tanks. So that may be one I throw outside is some duckweed on the ponds.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of duckweed in a few aquariums here and there through the years, but I just feed it to the goldfish. I never have it long enough to keep it. I just feed it to the goldfish.
I wish I could say that. I need to get some goldfish. Oh, James, guess what?
I see that.
The man in the fish tube.
Yeah, I don't know. I may steal him away from the Zen Ginger there. This guy right here, Mr. Zen, which, by the way, and I feel like with everything Mr. Zen's doing, it's the least I can do to say thank you. Our wonderful moderator who's been throwing links in the chat all evening. She's got her own YouTube channel. If you haven't checked her out, go check her out. She's got some awesome stuff. So she is, of course, the other half of the Zen team. Mr. Zen, thank you for yet another $20 super chat with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 blue hearts, and blue being my favorite color. Buddy, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Ms. Stone said it. Mr. Zen, you are a rock star. Thanks. That's, yeah, couldn't have said it better myself.
They are. rock stars for sure.
So
Rose says she likes the blackbeard algae.
yeah, that's another one that, a lot of people are like, oh God, no. And Ro was trying to buy some rocks the other day at the fish store that had blackbeard. She's like, give me that rock with that blackbeard on it. It's one of those, to each their own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all things serve a purpose under certain circumstances. So
yeah, I was cleaning and doing water changes every week, and I've definitely backed off because I like it doesn't mean fish like it.
right, and that's exactly it. The fish tend to enjoy the tanks that aren't as pretty to the eye sometimes. And it helps clean the water. So you're getting sometimes a cleaner tank for a tank that doesn't look quite as pretty, so to speak. Hello, Aquamates.
Yeah, the water's always a little bit more clearer.
Here's a question from your video from yesterday. I did with all the easies that you got. The easy carbon. Have you ever used that?
Nope. I'm using it now.
Neither have I. So I'll be tuning in to watch, I guess, your review of it.
Yeah. So far, I've used it once, so I don't have I haven't really seen any difference because I've just used it once. But I know I have a little bit of trouble with my plants. They look good, but they have a little bit of a yellow tinge to them sometimes. So I figured if I just got the whole line, whatever I needed, something in the line would take care of it because I'm still learning. And just because I think I know doesn't mean I really know. So, and a lot of it, I don't have the best lights. I have shop lights and just like regular light bulbs on some of my tanks. So I don't have the best lights, but even that's working better than what I had. So I think a lot of it's, I need better lights, but in time, it'll come in time.
Yeah, well, and sure. I honestly found that some of the tanks that do the best with my plants have the cheap LED shop lights. I want to say real quick, thank you, Aquamate. Welcome to the Fever fam. Welcome to Bristol Nose. I appreciate you becoming a member, buddy. Glad to have you on board. Recently joined your channel as well. Aquamate got his memberships too. So congrats to you, buddy, and welcome to the team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So.
It's a big achievement. It's like a newer milestone now, like achievement unlocked.
Yes, that's exactly it. And it kind of popped out of nowhere for a lot of us. It was like, what? Huh? We weren't even requesting it or anything like that. It just showed up when they were like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember who's popped up first, but I was like, what? Oh, yeah, that's cool. Congrats. I don't know if it was you or Rack or I don't remember whose it was, but I was like, oh, cool. It was just like a video game achievement.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And I appreciate, again, that goes back to the community. If it wasn't for this community, YouTube wouldn't recognize the channels in such a way. And the Fish fam is awesome.
Yes.
So that all goes back to a thank you to them. Do you have
Rick,
any?
Another one of our Tennessee guys. He's one of our buddies too.
Yep, we've got Rack and Bob Kaler, Chattanooga Ed, Rose Aquatics, who's in the chat, Ginger Graves, and Tiffany White, which I saw Tiffany White in here earlier.
Hi, Tiffany.
And we've got one or two people that I don't know if they're on
Peck.
YouTube or not. Yeah, Sean Peck. I don't know how I forget Sean. I was just talking to him yesterday.
And we need to try to get living the great life UPS or UPS living the great.
Yeah, it's funny. She was actually in the store while I was doing a live stream at Aquatic Marine, and I didn't know it. After the fact, she said, I'm glad you didn't get me on camera. Anybody that was in there, I told somebody while I was live, just kick me if I'm in your way. And the lady's like, no, I wouldn't do that. And turns out that was UPS for living the dream. So I thought that was funny. This
bizarre
community. I don't want to keep you too terribly long because I know that you mentioned, personal things around this time. And there's Tiffany White. She said, "Hey, Kerry."
I've got a little bit.
Okay, good deal. Perfect. Yeah, we're not going to
I
go.
don't hear any footsteps. When I hear footsteps and the dog barking, I know it's my limit.
Absolutely. which we're not going to go past 9 o'clock. We've got Rumble coming up after this. And then I think every other week, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's every other week Aquamate is going to be running at 9. So that's part of why we moved to 7:30 instead of 8 for a start time, just so we could have a little bit longer with guests and not run over and kind of have some nice cohesion in the Fish Fam stream times. But yeah, I'm really wanting to do tubs, and all this tub talk has really got me wanting to do it.
Yeah, I didn't buy any. I just went to Jesse's, my boyfriend's family's got a farm, so I just went and ransacked all their old cow tubs.
Oh, that's better. That's awesome.
They're just like those round, I think they're galvanized something, but I didn't. The 300-gallon one, I went to the farmers, the MFA, Farmers Association or whatever, and picked it up, but my regular ones, anytime they just have something left over at the farm, I just make it work. So each year
great.
I'm going to add more and more and more and more.
That's so cool. Now, do you have, and you may have said this, but God love Mr. Zen, he had me so far off thought with the super chats. Do you have specific plans for each of those tubs for what you're going to stock them with fish-wise?
The one's a secret.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Well, and of course, yeah, absolutely. Go subscribe.
Just because I don't know yet. The other one is white. I want to do white cloud minnows.
Nice.
Never done them before, and everybody seems like to be raving about them. And since everybody loves them and raving about them, I've got 4. It's like 5 right now. Is 4. So hopefully I can find some to come in the mail soon so I can stock up. But excuse me, I really want to do the white clouds.
Very cool.
Try them out. I've always just done the live bear thing, and I'm really curious about like the egg laying, like the tetra. It's trying to kind of stretch out of my box because I like the live bears, but I want to try something a little outside my range of things I know what I'm doing.
So,
Yeah. Well, I would like to do a lot of tubs eventually, but I think I'm going to go with like blue Moscows in one tank, and then I have actually ones that are called pond guppies. They're just like fluorescent, or they just glow on their tops.
Oh wow!
I got them in Knoxville, but that's also kind of turned into my cull tank. So I've got a lot of mutts with them too.
Yeah, last year I just really gathered up just a random collection of whatever I had guppy wise and put them out there, and they did great. They did really great. The mollies, like I said, I just had one fry, but the guppies did the best. But try something different. We'll see how it goes. But I would kind of want to do something. The worst part about tubs, I guess, is I can't quite get them all out when it's ready to come in. And so I wanted to do something that's a little bit easier for cold water wise. So if I don't necessarily get it out, they'll still be okay. So
yeah, that's the white one would be great.
Because when we got that first frost last year, I guess I missed one female and she didn't make it. So something that, and I know the rosy reds and the koi, I keep them year round outside and they do great. I think they grow over the winter the most. So something that does a little bit better with colder water. So if I can't get it out immediately before that first snap, they still do well. Is my goal.
Yep.
I feel bad.
I guess I kind of tubbed, but it was just raising goldfish up real big. And in Missouri, we get a lot of ice and it would freeze up, and those, it didn't bother them.
Yeah, we got more ice this year than snow. It just iced.
Well, since I've moved here to Chattanooga, I think it snowed twice.
Really?
And both times it lasted maybe a half hour. So I miss the snow.
Real quick, I want to grab some highlights from the chat. Storm Riders Aquatics, Melvin says, hello, Fish Room Fever James. Melvin, hello, glad to see you, buddy.
Hey, Mel.
Griffin's Fish Room says, Fish Room Fever, I put white cloud minnows outside in pond today. I'm really itching to do some some ponds or tubs. It's that is awesome, Griffin. I'm gonna have to go check, see if you did a video on that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been so
the
busy.
white clouds are going to be popular.
Oh yeah, I'm curious. I'm thinking about, because as Ed would say, I've got a Brazilian cherry shrimp. I'm thinking about putting some cherry shrimp out in a tub.
Well, and Sean Peck left his year round in his little pond he has in his front yard.
Yeah.
And they lived. He was like setting it up on a video, and he found some still alive that wintered. So
that's yeah. I'm gonna have to give that a try. Select Pet, thank you for dropping the link to the website fishermanfever.com so you can check out the schedule. I've got to clean up Saturday nights because it turned into a disaster with stream times, and I was like, once we know what's going on, I'll fix it. I did drop the link, and Zinginger did as well, for Rumble's 1K celebration, which is coming on after us at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There's Lefty3213A says, I'm trying to warm the parental units up to letting me tub this summer at Fisherman Fever. Best of luck to you. Hopefully you can make that happen. Select Pet says, white clouds are a Kerris fish too. Convicts are a good first egg layer. Yeah, I'm actually going to start out, and I got that idea from Big J's Fish Keeper stream earlier. I'm going to get my tubs up if I decide to do it, which will be a tomorrow thing if I'm going to do it. And I'm going to start them out with convicts, because I've got some convicts I got cleared out of my guppy rack today so that I can make room for guppies. And I'm like, where am I going to put these guys? And then Big J mentioned the tubs, and I'm like, yes, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that was kind of a hard decision after it was time to bring them all in. I didn't know what to do with them. So I kind of want them to, like, it'd be nice if I could keep them outside. Just keep them outside.
one of my
It doesn't
goals,
get, like, drastically cold here, but it does get cold here. So you just never know.
Tiffany White says, excuse me, I set up 3 summer tubs, just put white clouds in one today. Excited. It's my first time summer tubbing. Congratulations, Tiffany. Awesome. Again, I'm going to have to check your channel, see if you put a video up for us on that. And hopefully I'll be right there with you doing my first run on the summer tubs this year.
James, Mr. Zen, is giving you $20, and he says that you're taking too much time from Kerry.
Oh, I don't know if I interpret that the same way or not, but I see for taking time away from Kerry. Yes, $20 super chat again from Mr. Zen.
For getting here. Okay, that's nicer. I thought it was trying to tell you to stop talking.
I mean, he could just tell me that without the super chat. But Mr. Zen, thank you, brother. Much appreciated. I can't wait to meet you all. I just can't wait till Dallas to meet you guys. That's going to be so much fun.
Dallas was, yeah. The roads in Dallas weren't fun, but the event was fun. I'm hoping this year it's closer to the hotel, is closer to the venue. I think it might be. I'm not sure. Last year it was not all that close to the hotel. And I don't know where I'm going, so trying to explain to an Uber driver where to go when you don't know where you need to go. Not this convention center next door, but one far away from here.
I think it's a convention center that's actually in a hotel.
That would be great if we could just, like, that would be awesome.
Well, James and I got the hotel across the street.
Yeah,
so we're going to walk across the street.
I need to look. I had booked my hotel and then it got postponed and I haven't rebooked it yet. But the hotel this time, like, way cool. Like, I liked the hotel last year. The blinking eyes kind of threw everybody off. There was like a hallway and you walk down and it was just like picture frames of eyeballs that would blink at you. You're like, what's going on? And there was like an empty frame with a paintbrush on the ceiling in my room. I mean, it was very artsy. It was cool. I appreciated it, but the pictures for this year's looked cool, like fun. Looked fun.
I just realized I need to cancel my hotel room so I don't have to pay for it.
I was going to ask you about that.
When is Michelle supposed to be?
I called up there and I was like, I need to cancel this. Like, we already did.
Real quick, Dead Fred 821 says, good evening, Fisherman Fever, Sciencegal, Aquatics, and Chattanooga Ed. Hey there, Dead Fred. Yeah, I like to joke that Ed is my events manager. because he handles all the booking and travel and figuring out all that stuff. And I just kind of like, here you go. I appreciate you setting it up. Here's my half. It's awesome. And then I'm his tech guy, so it works out well.
It does work.
We have great balance between the two of us. Tiffany White wants to know if we're going to Chicago, Aquatics, Chicago. So
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I think that is a good answer. Please speak to my event manager for more details.
I'm planning on it. Like in my head, I've already bought everything and packed, but I have to wait a little while just to make sure I have a babysitter, because I know the one in Texas is over Halloween. I got to make sure I got trick-or-treating stuff figured out, but Chicago shouldn't be a problem. I kind of run my own schedule, being my own boss, so if I'm like, I'm taking that off.
Oh, you gotta love that. Me going will depend mostly upon my my event manager over here, whether or not he's going.
Yeah, we'll probably do Dallas unless they cancel it, but it really stinks it's over Halloween, because my family does a giant Halloween party every year. So if we don't do Dallas, we'll do Chicago. We'll say that.
Like, it's fun. Like, it seems like Aquatics and like Halloween and costumes and dressing up, that would be really cool. But at the same time, it's like, but the kids want to go trick-or-treating. Right. And Brighton, I'd love to take Brighton, but he's scared to death of traveling. He doesn't like to go anywhere. So I don't want to force him to go either. So we'll just see.
Very cool. So we've only got a little bit of time left, but I do want to ask you, I'm curious, what would be, I guess, a dream fish for you, something that you've never kept that you would like to keep in the future at some point?
I got it. I got my Kerry tetras from Rachel.
There you go.
That is my dream fish. I wanted Kerry tetras, like, specifically really bad, because they're spelled like nothing's ever spelled the way I spelled my name, and there's a fish. Like, come on. And plus they're like purple. Purple's my favorite color, and so of course. And then the fact that they came from Rachel just made them so much extra special. So
that is an awesome fish to have in the fish room. Diego with Pet Exotics with the $2 super chat says, I would love to meet all three of you. Absolutely, buddy. I'd love to meet you too. I've talked to you a bit, but I'd love to actually meet you in person. Again, it goes back to what Kerry mentioned, is we feel like, we're friends, but a lot of people we've never even met. We just talk to them so often or see them, on streams and chats and things. Hey, Rob 93. Do you have any fish that, how do I want to phrase this? Is there any fish that you would never keep? Oh, yeah, there you go. That you hate. I like that. Or that you would absolutely just never keep again or to begin with.
I appreciate cichlids, but there's some cichlids that I can't. I got my tank all nice situated. I don't need your help decorating. Like, I've had them. I couldn't tell you what kind they are. In the past, I've had them because they looked cool back in the day, but like the green terror type things, like, I really like them. I really like looking at them, but I don't want them.
Yeah, they do. I'm like the same way.
There is, at one of the auctions, someone left, I swear it was like a peacock cichlid in the hallway, just in the bag. I think it was Haley and Lucas and a few other of us were all like, you take it. No, you take it. No, I don't want to. You take it. And I don't want to take it, but I'm not going to leave it. So I nursed it back to health for like a year. Slowly got it back because it got its color back. And Jesse wanted me to put it in with the largemouth bass. And well, that didn't last very long. So I felt bad because it was looking so good. And then it just got eaten. I just saw this yellow tail sticking out of his mouth. I was like, well, I didn't figure that was a good idea, but okay.
Now, do you have any tips for somebody that's just getting into the hobby, or maybe that's been out of the hobby a long time because, things have kind of changed, if you will? Any big, couple things that you would recommend, do's or don'ts?
My thing from getting back into the hobby was just patience. Because just because I thought I knew what I was doing from all the years that I kept fish, I didn't. So just because you've kept fish for a year, 20 years, 5 years, take the time to really brush up on the basics, because the basics are important. Your nitrogen cycle and, different things you don't really think of. Just look into it because it's worth it.
Yes.
Really brush up on the basics.
Yeah, I had that patience problem because I was used to, when I was in the hobby previously, I had multiple tanks. So I always had cycled media and, I was never having to worry about cycling a brand new tank. And I got back in and I was like, I have to wait and get these tanks cycled. I'm like, this is just so weird. Normally I'm so used to previously being able to grab a sponge filter or, something else and just have a tank going whenever I wanted to. So patience was a hard thing coming back in for me.
And that's the opposite of me. I have all the patience in the world, and I just
he does.
I wait forever, and then when something happens, like when I got that dragon puffer, I'm like panicking because it's like, why did I do a spur of the moment thing?
Yeah, it's really just kind of, especially with the plants. Like getting back into the hobby, I always just had the plastic stuff. I never had plants, live plants, so I didn't know anything about it. And really just learning and taking the time and not rushing into things, because I'm the type of person, I have these moments where with the depression and anxiety stuff where I'll get I don't want to do anything. Coming down here to feed the fish is what I'm going to do today. And that's about all I can do.
Right.
And then there's other days where I'm like, I want plants and I want to go buy this and I want to set up 5 tanks today. And that's you know what? One thing at a time.
What convinced you to try?
Not feeling like you have anybody that cares to you want to do everything at once. So just take the time to slow down and patience.
Yes.
This is kind of an up and down roller coaster. And you're going to have times where with me, it kind of comes in waves where nothing I do works out. Yep. All the fish I buy die. All the things I want to won't work out or something. And it's okay, I'm still treating my fish right. I'm still doing what I think is best. Just because I'm having a rough week, and then things will turn around. And the next week, I'll have a bunch of new fry. And it's, it's just kind of a roller coaster.
And that's where that patience really comes into play, because it's so easy when you have those bad times to just go, you know what, forget it, I'm done with it, everything's dying. But you just kind of riding it out and knowing that it's going to be good. And I've always said, if you've never lost a fish, you just haven't been in the hobby that long. So,
or if you haven't lost a fish because you've overflowed a tank and they freaking float out of the tank.
Yeah. Rob's Aquariums with the $3 super sticker with the thumbs up pair. I appreciate you very, very, very much. Thank you for that. Glad you're having a good time as well. So we've got about 6 minutes left.
About this time, I think I figured it out.
Kerry, what convinced you to try plants?
I don't know. I think it was just being around so many people that had plants and watching so many people that had plants, because watching you guys and watching the fish tube and talking to Haley and Lucas was the first person that I kind of ran into in person, and seeing all his stuff he would bring to the auction that he had from his fish room. And it was I'm going to try this. I want to try to do it. And it's really helped the guppies. And I've tried putting live plants in with the arowana, and the arowana does okay with it, but it's the pleco. It's the pleco that doesn't like it. But it's fun kind of trying new things, see what works, what grows, what doesn't. Some things work out. There's always something new to try.
For sure.
Absolutely. I do want to run through real quick before I run out of time. Say thank you to our members. We've got 20 members now, you guys. You're awesome. Thank you very, very much for that. I'll just go through here real quickly. We've got the Zen Ginger, Just the Shrimp Granny, Priscilla MK Art, Sand Creek Aquatics, Pet Zotics, Ginger Graves, Moonstone, Danikin Aquatics, Mr. Zen, Kaler's Aquatics, Multi-Tank Addiction, Sandy Dowdy, Tiffany White, Gina French, River Life, Don Cervantes, Lefty3213A, Chattanooga Ed, HC Aqua, and our newest member tonight, Aquamate. Thank you all very, very much. Anybody that's in the chat that doesn't know, just about everybody there has got an awesome channel, and I'm subscribed to it. So go check them out. And then I do want to thank the super chatters here. But Ed, if you want to get one more question in real quick, you're welcome to do so.
Okay. Well, what is your go-to food for all your live bearers?
Bug bites.
Bug bites
is my favorite right now. It's
Now-
this one. I'll grab it.
Is it the new flake or is it actually a granule?
It's this one.
Okay, I've not tried that.
Tropical one.
Can you open the top so we can see what it looks like?
It's a granule. I think.
Okay, it is a granule.
I need some more. But this one, it reminds me of the fancy guppy. This one. It's kind of the same consistency as that one.
Okay.
But that's kind of my go-to one. I'm excited to try Corey's fry food. I
love that
one. That's my first time trying that one, so I'm gonna try that probably tonight or tomorrow. So I'm like food. Like anytime there's a new food, I'm like a gadget new release type person. I'm like, I want to try that. Absolutely. So I know the API bottom. I think it's the bottom feeder one. The Panda Corys really like it, and that's a newer one that I've been feeding. But any type of food that I can get my hands on, I'm going to try it. The bug bites, it seems like everybody likes that. The Vibra bites, the butterfly fish, like that's about the only one I feed the Vibra bites to. I did bet the Kerry Tetra, I'll feed that every once in a while to them. But that freshwater butterfly fish is a top view type fish. It's a cool one.
I've been wanting to get one. Someday I will.
I never expected to walk into the fish store and see it, and the way it eats and the way it swims reminds me of a silver arrow one. It's just like this big though, but they're just as jumpy. Like I am petrified to clean that tank.
Yeah, they've got the trap jaw type deal. Yep.
I've got about 25, maybe 30 foods coming in from Petzotics, petzotics.com. And I'm really curious. I want to make a proprietary blend. Real quick, I want to run through and thank the super chatters tonight. Let me get down to the bottom here because I don't want to run over Rumble's 1K celebration. We're going to go hang out over there. Zen Ginger with the $2 super chat. Lefty with the $2 super chat. Lake Hamilton Guppies. $5 super chat. HC Aqua with the $2. Mr. Zen with the first $20. Priscilla with the $2. Moonstone with the $10 super chat. Mr. Zen with $20, $40, $60, $80 back to back right there. Aquarium is maintained by Andy with the $2 super chat. Mr. Zen with another $20 super chat. Priscilla with another $2 super chat.
That's so good.
Mr. Zen with two more $20 super chats back to back, followed by Petzotics with the $2 super chat and Rob's Aquariums with the $3 super chat. And then the Guppy Guru coming in at the last minute with the $10 super chat, spreading the Guppy love. Thank you very much, my friend. And all of you, very, very much appreciate that. Carrie, thank you very much for coming. It's been awesome chatting with you. I'm glad we finally got to do this face to face, if you will.
I'm so glad you invited me, and I'm not as scared as I was to go live.
You're great.
Yeah, you did it.
It's the speaking, this English stuff.
Words are hard, as Candy says.
Here. I talk like I'm from Missouri, and I don't always pronunciate my words correctly.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
On my official first live stream, I couldn't say silicone. I couldn't say polycarbonate. And I had a piece of polycarbonate next to me with it on it, but it was upside down, the word, and I could not read it. Oh, my God.
You know what I said? I was filming. This is embarrassing. I was doing one of the video for Rachel's challenge.
Yeah, we're going to be doing those too.
I said something. I was going to put it in the sunlight overnight. And I was editing. I was like, really, Kerry? You're going to put something in the sunlight overnight? Does that even make any sense?
So I do want to say real quick, because we have run out of time. Thank you very much. Chad Crotts dropping in at the last minute there on that super chat. I know you've been listening, but snuck it in there. Enjoyed the stream. Hope y'all have a great night. Kerry, thank you again. Chattanooga Ed Buddy, of course, thank you for co-hosting. All the lurkers, the moderators, the contributors, everybody, thank you all very, very much. Let's go over and check out Rumble's 1K celebration. Let's do hashtag community. I think that's a good one for tonight. I love you all very much. So until next time, keep yourselves healthy, keep your fish healthy, and catch yourself a little fish room fever. Take care, everybody.
Bye.